As the beginning of a new working week here on News 360, my name is Solace Rose Gordy.
My name is Issa Morning. Good evening and welcome to News 360. Here are the headlines for this hour.
360 Headlines is brought to you by Deluxe Paid.
Government urges striking members of the LPG Operators Association to resume work and return for negotiations.
Court dismisses former Cocoa Board CEO Dr. Stephen Opuni's application to defreeze his accounts.
And Bank of Ghana reduces policy rate from 18 to 17%.
And on the foreign front, U.S. vows strongest ever Iran sanctions.
We have all the details, including sports and entertainment, coming up this hour. Stay with us as we bring you the details right away. Government has asked striking members of the LPG Operators Association to resume operations and return to work for negotiations. The Deputy Minister of Energy, Dr. Mohammed Amin, was reacting to the strike by members of the association in Accra.
The Deputy Minister of Energy, Dr. Mohammed Amin, noted the ongoing strike could affect market stability of the product and reduce investor confidence. Currently, available figures indicate that Ghana has 23% of gas penetration, with authorities earmarking 50% before the end of the year. The Deputy Sector Minister of Energy said the country's excess capacity of power could compel Ghanaians to switch to the use of electric stove if the strike continues.
And so I am tempted to advise the Energy Commission to begin to educate consumers on safe use of electric stoves. Because apart from the excess generation capacity we have, electricity is becoming cheaper. Because through our intervention, PURC recently announced the reductions in tariffs.
He again stated that the excess capacity of power will compel government to pay over $7 billion within 15 years.
The natural gas is cheaper than light crude oil in the generation of electricity. We have also developed a new policy that pegs the price of power from the contractors at 10 cents per kilowatt hour. At the moment, some of the power plants are selling power to us at 15 cents, 21 cents per kilowatt hour. Government has pegged it now at 10 cents per kilowatt hour. And so for contracts that we will sign in future, the cost of generating power will further go down.
Chief Executive Officer of the National Petroleum Authority, Hassan Tampuli, dared the striking gas operators to explain the perceived job losses if the cylinder recirculation model is rolled out.
Nobody is aiming at crippling your business. And I've said it many times with all the integrity available to me. If your business collapses, hold me responsible.
This, the president of the LPG Operators Association disagreed.
Jobs will not be lost with regard to this.
Leave them with their lies.
Why are you speaking this way, Tom?
I'm telling you my mind. I am in the job. How long is that man in the job? How long is he in the job?
Does it mean that your number of years in the job does that translate that?
I know what is happening. You don't know. So I'm telling you, that's a lie. It's not true.
But why won't you go to the implementation committee to get these issues resolved?
I beg. I've spoken a lot about this issue to you. So I don't want to speak again about it.
But Minister is saying that the unstable nature of the market could affect your business.
The association insists it would not rescind its decision until government abolishes the policy.
And in Kumasi, some commercial drivers want government to reconsider the implementation of the cylinder recirculation policy. According to them, the concerns of the Liquefied Petroleum Gas Operators Association should be addressed to ensure consumers don't suffer unduly after the implementation. This is a report by Ibrahim Abubakar.
Some gas retail outlets in the Kumasi metropolis remained shut on Monday, leaving consumers stranded. Some affected taxi drivers pleaded with government to review the policy to enable members of the LPG Operators Association resume work.
This policy is not going to help and will render people unemployed. The distance to the filling station at the outskirts will not favor us. Wherever we go, there is no gas and we are largely affected.
The situation was, however, different at Gold LPG retail outlets as attendants served customers.
And earlier today, members of the Liquefied Petroleum Gas Operators Association began a strike to protest government decision to implement the cylinder recirculation module proposed by the National Petroleum Authority. The association has long kicked against the program, indicating that it would lead to the collapse of their businesses. Our reporter, Neon Falong, visited some retail outlets and has filed the following reports.
A visit to some outlets in the capital showed that the strike was in force. Stations were under lock with customers stranded. At La, a taxi driver, Samuel Wakufo, said he could not work without gas and therefore had to wait.
Because of me, gas and fan.
I will not be able to work today. They have gas, but they are not selling.
What's the watch on information? But they want on your bottom.
Another taxi driver at the Greater Estate, Stephen Mawili, said he had run out of gas after driving to several outlets in search of LPG.
They have refused to sell to us because they are on strike. I came from Katamanso, where they are also on strike.
At a Goil station in Teshi, however, customers who had queued were being served. A restaurant operator explained that he would stay in the queue till he was served.
I'm getting inside for the key, so if you reach my time, you give me. But no, right now.
Many attendants expressed their support for the strike off camera, claiming they were only at work because their superiors had asked them to work. Members of the LPG Operators Association said they have been compelled to take this action because government has failed to address their concerns. As part of the cylinder recirculation module, gas cylinders will no longer be filled up at gas retail outlets, but cylinders will be bought from distributors each time it runs out. These plants will procure, brand, maintain and fill empty cylinders to be distributed to consumers and households through retail outlets and stations deemed to be low risk after government's assessment. The policy, which was developed in 2012, could not be rolled out until President Akufo-Addo ordered its implementation following the public outcry in the wake of the massive explosion at an LPG filling station at Atomic Junction in Accra. The outrage over the explosion was a culmination of widespread concern over the lax safety standards of some LPG and petrol filling stations, which have resulted in about 8 major explosions since 2014. In the view of the association, better vigilance by the fire service and the NPA were better safety options than the policy.
Now, an Accra High Court has dismissed an application by former Cocoa Board CEO Dr. Stephen Opuni challenging the freezing of his accounts by the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO. Now, the judge, Justice Georgina Mensah Dacha, who did not read the entire ruling, stressed the need to protect public funds. This is a report by Selom Amenya.
Justice Georgina Mensah Dacha also mentioned that the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO, could have spared everyone all the trouble if the officials had followed its own act. Stephen Opuni applied to the High Court seeking an order for the release of his account. The application followed a new order obtained by EOCO to have the account frozen, hours after the same court had ordered the defreezing of the account. The court on April 23 ordered EOCO to defreeze the account of Dr. Opuni, but days after, EOCO secured another order freezing the account. Lawyers for the former chief executive of Cocoa Board last week accused EOCO of abuse of power. According to the lawyers, led by Samuel Kojo, EOCO's move to refreeze the bank account after an order of the court for its release amounts to disrespect for the court and contrary to Section 40 of the Yoko Act. One of the lawyers for the Cocoa Board CEO, Kojoga Dawudu, insisted the matter would be pursued.
We will apply for the ruling and we will take a decision, but we are not surprised because that same court has made 2 different orders. So which one does she validate? Which one does she say it is not right? So the court itself is put in a difficult situation. So we are not surprised. We will look at the reasoning. If the reasoning, we agree with the reasoning, so be it. But if we disagree and we look at the position of the law and we say we disagree, that is why there is the appellate system. That's why the Court of Appeal, Supreme Court is there.
You're watching News 360, and here's a story that dominated news headlines for several days. But weeks after, it seems everyone has gone to sleep and the issue left to die. In the first of a series of News Desk reports, we ask what has become of the alleged minority MP's double salary saga.
Early April, the media space was dominated with news that some MPs who served as ministers and deputy ministers in the John Mahama administration allegedly took double salaries, while some were alleged to have taken the double salaries for 4 years. Others were said to have received it for 2 and 3 years, probably because they were reshuffled. Names including the second Deputy Speaker, Alban Bagbin, Minority Leader, Haruna Idrisu, former Minister for Roads and Highways, Inus Afoseni, former Minister of State at the Presidency in charge of Private Sector, Rashid Pelpo, and Comfort Doyo Gansa were mentioned. They were to report to the Criminal Investigations Department of the Police Service for investigations, to which the minority MPs found it strange. The CID came up with conflicting figures of the number of MPs involved in the allegation, from 48 to 27 and to 18. This, the minority in Parliament again raised concerns. When the MPs reported to the police CID, they were told that they were being investigated for stealing. Information filtered in indicating the police had written to the Accounts Department of Parliament for more information concerning the double salary saga. The affected persons were asked to submit their bank statements. It's been over a month and nothing is being said or heard about the matter. Media persons have of course jumped onto other issues, and the police CID will also not open up on the matter. As it stands, no one knows what has become of the case, whether all the MPs accused have reported to the police CID or not, whether the police has received the required information from Parliament, and if all the MPs involved have submitted their bank statements. These are all concerns begging for attention, and TV3 will keep viewers updated on other issues that have been left in the dark.
Residents of North Kaneshie near First Light traffic light are lamenting over the delay in the construction of a drain in the area. They contend the contractor's inability to complete the project is the cause of flooding in their homes anytime it rains.
This is the home of one of the residents at North Kaneshie near the traffic lights. The stagnant water has remained here for many days. The swampy area extends to the Accra Academy Senior High School. 10 meters away from the residence is the stored drainage project. The drainage system forms part of the Gamma Sanitation and Water Project, which is to address emergency priority drainage intervention and alleviate flood risks in Accra. Residents are attributing the flooding of their homes to this drainage system because of the delays in completing the project.
Anytime it rains, we experience heavy flooding in this house. The sad part is that several days after the rains had stopped, water still gushes into our homes.
Velox Company Limited has placed several posters asking residents to call their emergency numbers in case there is any problem. But residents say efforts to get the contractor's attention is proving difficult.
The entrance of the gutter is too small. Hence, the volumes of floodwaters is prevented from entering.
But the sanitary engineer at the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources, Engineer Gabriel Engman, agreed the pond behind the Accra Academy Senior High School was a major challenge, but gave an assurance something was being done about it.
The Accra Academy High School came up with the issue that they have water ponding behind the other, so if we can assist them. And we've taken that even on board. The design and everything has taken into account the issue at that first light junction. So the entrance will be widened and opened enough to be able to carry the flow through the underground drain.
13 residents who were affected as a result of the construction work have been compensated. Work on the project, which is 60% complete, is expected to be handed over by June 2018, but the deadline cannot be met. The Kaneshi drain is among some priority drains which have been earmarked for re-engineering under the Greater Accra Metropolitan Area Gamma Sanitation Project, which was started in 2015 with $150 million funding from the World Bank.
On MTN Video Report today, our citizen journalist Jamila Sandoa reports on the insanitary condition at the Tamale Hospital in the northern region.
I'm Jamila speaking from Tamale. The people move from their various homes and come into the Tamale Teaching Hospital land to come and ease themselves. You can see them walking majestically to go and ease themselves. They move from their house and come and dump refuse on the hospital land.
Right, you can also send your video reports via WhatsApp on 0551 433 044. You're watching News 360, and coming up next, stories that are yet to drop from our news desk. Bank of Ghana reduces policy rate to 17%.
Well, we have all these and more coming up in the next few minutes. We'll be right back after this.
You're watching News 360. Thanks so much for staying with us. Let's do some business now. My name is Nanekuya Mensah Abrampa, and the Bank of Ghana has reduced the policy rate by 100 basis points from 18 to 17%. The governor of the central bank, Dr. Ernest Addison, indicated the decision to reduce the policy rate was based on favorable external development and domestic economic indicators, as well as the efforts to consolidate economic gains.
Ghana's total public debt has declined from 69.8% of gross domestic product of 142.5 billion cedis at the end of 2017 to 60% of GDP of 145 billion cedis as at the end of February this year. Domestic debt stood at 68.2 billion cedis, representing 47% of the total debt. External debt at end of February stood at 76.8 billion cedis, representing 53% of total debt. The governor of the central bank, Dr. Ernest Addison, outlined some of the economic indicators that were factored into the policy rate.
Crude oil prices have increased by 11.5% since the beginning of the year to an average of $71.7 per barrel in April. Gold prices gained 5.4% to $1,334.9 per fine ounce. Cocoa prices firmed up by 39.8% to $2,664 per ton. in April 2018. These developments translated into a positive trade and current account balance.
He indicated the decision to reduce the policy rate is also to consolidate and sustain economic gains.
Consequently, the committee decided to reduce the monetary policy rate by 100 basis points to 17%. The committee, however, stands ready to take the appropriate policy measures to address any potential threats to the disinflation path.
Ghana's gross external reserves, as at the end of March 2018, was a drawdown of $513.9 million, in line with the projected cash flow for the period. The recent Eurobond issued has raised the level of international reserves to $8.1 billion, representing 4.4 months of imports.
And President Akufo-Addo has charged the central bank to ensure discipline and order in the banking sector. Speaking at the third Ghana CEO Summit in Accra, the president urged the central bank to support local banks in the implementation of their regulatory functions to promote a stable banking sector.
The third edition of the Ghana CEO Summit provides a unique platform for global and local CEOs to integrate and interact with experts on various key aspects of corporate management and leadership. It is also to create the avenue for CEOs and industry professionals to improve the quality and profitability of their enterprises through shared experiences and personal growth strategies. The founder and CEO of the Ghana CEO Summit, Ernest de Graft Ejiri, requested government to continually create the enabling environment for the private sector to thrive. President Akufo-Addo charged the central bank to play its regulatory role effectively to ensure discipline in the banking sector.
We cannot afford instability or recklessness in the banking and financial sectors. For any loss of confidence in the banks is bound to have a ripple effect on the stability of the economy as a whole. It is important that the regulator recognizes that a banking sector dominated by foreign-owned banks does not bode well for the Ghana Beyond Aid project. It is essential that indigenous banks grow and survive in any meaningful reform of the banking system. And I'm confident that the regulator, the Bank of Ghana, appreciates this.
The president encouraged the CEOs to channel their skills and expertise towards the country's economic growth while maintaining good corporate governance.
The two critical changes that we have to undertake: change the structure of the economy, discard the aid dependence mentality, both of which, ladies and gentlemen, require your enthusiastic support. You are the leaders of industry, you are the entrepreneurs, you are the business people. It is your skills and energies that we would need to achieve these goals.
The two-day summit is on the theme Leadership, Innovation and Investment for Business and Economic Transformation.
Away from the banking sector now, and Sterling Distribution Company has been adjudged the best key distributor for 2017 by Unilever Ghana. The award is to recognize distributors for promoting the brand.
Winners were drawn from Unilever Ghana distributors from all 10 regions. The awards was to recognize outstanding individuals and companies for promoting the brand. Love Mart Ventures took home the gold category, followed by Bisville Distribution Services in the coverage expansion category. Other winners were Kuala Shopping Center for the target and achievement for modern trade, whilst Gladys Amwa received the award for exemplary leadership.
We don't just sell a product, we sell products that are beneficial to our consumers and put them in a more positive way every single day. And so it is through that product we believe, and that combined offering we believe our consumers will pick us over the competition.
The first runner-up for the Best Key Distributor for 2017 went to Maksuzi Enterprise, while Sterling Distribution Company was adjudged the overall Best Key Distributor and was presented with a check for 40,000 cedis.
We feel very awesome for this opportunity.
We worked extremely hard. We didn't think we would be recognized this way, and we have been. And to that, we are very grateful for Unilever.
Managing Director of Unilever, Yao Zobaten, lauded the distributors and partners who have told to make Unilever the preferred and accepted brand.
It is not so much what they've done for Unilever to grow, but for me, it is more of how they've really impacted the lives of Ghanaians, how they've contributed to the economy. Through this celebration, it is our way of telling the nation that there's great entrepreneurship. There are great people, businessmen in Ghana, from Ghana, that day in, day out are striving to make a difference.
He urged the awardees to work harder to build an even stronger brand to ensure Unilever stays on top.
And Promasidor Ghana, producers of cowbell milk, have piloted the first hot air balloon in Ghana. The balloon project, dubbed Cowbell in the Sky, is intended to promote tourism, recreation and business.
A hot air balloon is an aircraft consisting of a large bag called an envelope, which contains heated air. Suspended beneath it is a gondola basket, which carries both passengers and a source of fuel to burn in order to heat up the air in the envelope. The heated air inside the envelope causes the balloon to fly since it has a lower density. The maiden flights from May 12 to 19 were from locations including Shy Hills Reserve, Royal St. Hotel, the Elmina Castle and Mole National Park.
The balloon is an aircraft registered in Ghana, so it will stay here, and it's the firm intention to have it in the air as much as possible and to invite friends, media, all together. That's the whole idea. But we did it just for 1 week, but the firm intention is to continue the program as soon as possible.
The flight's trajectory is determined by the wind direction and making hot air balloons different from other aircraft. The pilot, Quen Ordinat, assured the public of safety.
Good you do the planning. If you do a good pre-flight planning, if you prepare everything the right way, if you study the maps, if you study the images on internet, then you can perfectly fly a balloon very safely. You can't steer it, you can't have an aim with it. The only thing you can do is just take off and have full enjoyment for an hour and then look for a good place to go down again.
The cowbell balloon is registered and would be operating in Ghana. The next tour is scheduled for October.
Quite an exciting experience, maybe. Well, government is to audit large-scale petroleum infrastructure such as the Atuabo gas plant and the Tema oil refinery LPG distribution terminal to promote safety standards. Deputy Minister of Energy Dr. Mohammed Amin said units which will not meet the safety standards risk being shut down.
Large-scale petroleum infrastructure include the Atuabo gas plant and the Tema oil refinery LPG distribution terminal. The Deputy Energy Minister, Dr. Mohammed Amin, said the ministry took the decision after realizing the safety gaps in the large-scale petroleum and gas sector.
We cannot address safety at the distribution point when we are not able to address safety at the source point. And therefore, to complement what NPA is doing, government has decided, and very soon, as I said, we will begin such an audit.
The National Petroleum Authority, which is a regulator, has licensed 109 oil marketing companies which have met safety standards. 313 petroleum retail outlets and 650 LPG outlets have also been licensed for meeting safety standards. The CEO of the National Petroleum Authority, Hassan Tampuli, expressed concern about some fuel stations which still take delivery of products after 6 p.m.
It's your life, it's our loss that you cannot dispense or sell petroleum products after 6 p.m. Especially when you are taking delivery, you can't take delivery after 6 p.m.
Board chairman of the Association of Oil Marketing Companies, Johnny Blagoji, pledged strong commitment to reduce accidents at the fuel stations.
A safe and healthy workplace will create healthy workers, increase productivity, contribute towards sustainability development, and create a positive image for our various companies.
The Association of Oil Marketing Companies Week celebration is to promote safety standards in the oil and LPG distribution chain. The theme for the celebration is Prepare and Prevent Disaster. And that'll do for business tonight. More on 3news.com. My name is Nanikia Mensa Abrampai.
Oh, you're still watching News 360. We'll return shortly with some more news updates. Do stay.
Good evening, Sports News time now on News 360. And a bit of breaking news in the last few minutes. The man in your background, Unai Emery, remember sacked as PSG coach. Well, contract not renewed. A lot of outlets reporting in England that he will be the next Arsenal manager. Apparently, after discussions today, the Arsenal hierarchy have settled on him over their former player, Mikel Arteta. Reports that a formal announcement will be made this week. Emery, remember, won back-to-back Europa League titles with Sevilla before he went to PSG, where he won 2 league titles. He didn't do as well on the Champions League, but he's a proven winner. Looks like the Arsenal board have gone for the safer bet rather than the untried and untested Mikel Arteta. Let's do some other stories then. And the debate about Kwesi Appiah's squad for 2 friendly games involving the Black Stars against Japan and Iceland is getting intensive. The Ghana boss has dropped some big-name players while concentrating on a number of young ones. Nana Kujafre reports.
Kwesi Appiah has been shaking some tables as Black Stars manager whenever he has named a squad, and his latest for 2 friendly games has been no different. The team travels to Japan and then Iceland for their first games of the year, and Appiah's collapse has provided a clue age-old tensions in the team. How he is preparing for the exit of its most prolific goal scorer, while also suggesting that while there may not be many players at the highest level of European club football, there's a good base of steady youngsters the country could rely on. Former Ghana international has his concerns about the squad though.
You know, when you are building a new team, you need some old ones that they already used to the team to try and help the new ones. But all the same, the coach knows what he's doing, and he's trying to give others opportunity to show. For me, I think I'm surprised, a little bit surprised about Jordan not being part of the team, because this season he played very well, helped Swansea, best player of the season for his club, score some important goals, over 10 goals as a striker. For me, I think he deserves to be in the team, but all the same, I respect Kwesi Appiah's decision.
The omissions of Jordan Ayew is a subject that will not just go away given his fine form this season. But in his place, Appiah has Emmanuel Boateng, who scored 6 times in La Liga, including a hat-trick against Barcelona, and Rafael Jamena, who managed 13 goals this season, despite the traumatic experience of seeing a proposed move to England fall through over health concerns. Football analyst Sadiq Adams says on the balance of it, Appiah's squad bodes well for the future.
The signal is one of rebuilding. The coach has made a very big statement of starting a new team. So if you look at the current squad, there are a lot of fresh faces and some returnees, but average age of 25, to say it's a team that you would want to count on for much more than 5-6 years before they reach their peak, and by that time you're looking at the Qatar 2022 World Cup.
Appiah will hope the squad vindicates him. The Ghana coach claims every game is a chance to expand the talent base of the Black Stars. Results will be the best indication of how well that is going.
Boxing now, and Isaac Dugbe is still in celebratory mood almost a month after boxing his way to the world title in the USA. The World Boxing Organization Super Bantamweight champion was back in his hometown over the weekend as a guest of the Awomefia of the Anglo-land Togbesri. Yao Fusulabi went along.
It was all joy for the people of Anyakopota as they welcomed the native of their town who had gone on and conquered the world. Dogbe was returning home weeks after winning the WBO Super Bantamweight title against Jesse Magdaleno in Philadelphia, and for the people of Anlo, it was a momentous occasion for them. In attendance were chiefs including the Awomefia of the Anlo land, Togbe Sri, clan heads, leaders of the Apostolic Revelation Society where Dogbe worships, and the people of Anyako and its surrounding communities. Dogbe, in a bid to stay in touch with where he hails from, joined them in a choreography and donated items to aid development of the town. The newly crowned champion says he is happy to have given back to the community.
Our only prayer is that God should continue to give us victories, to continue to put us in great positions, so that one day we can continue with the work that we have started, that we are giving back to the less privileged. We are giving hope back to the people.
Some residents of the community could not hide their joy after the event.
Isaac have once again raised the Ghana, once again raised the name of Prepota, once again raised the name of Africa. So we are so happy.
I'm just so proud and so happy about Isaac today, because we all hope and then we all follow him, praying towards the success, and then we have the great success that they've done by conquering Macareno. So we are all happy, thanking the Lord and celebrating whatever. And he's proud that he's come from this village and it's from the Voltal also.
The activities have begun in earnest for the European Champions League final this weekend, and Liverpool boss Jurgen Klopp has been talking of the chances of his team against record champions Real Madrid. Klopp believes Liverpool have the desire, attitude and work rate that can help them beat the experience of the 12-time European champions.
We have our own experience. We are not that positive experience that we won the last two finals or whatever, but we made our own experience, and so that's good as well. We are not as long together with this group as Real Madrid, because they not only won the last three or whatever, they played these finals pretty much with the same team all the time. That is very special as well. So as a group, they are very strong, and that's all fact. And we have a chance, and that's why I think let's give it a try. Let's go there and try to perform on a level which maybe people would say it's not possible for us, but it is possible, and that's exactly what we should do. We did all the things we need in that game. We did already plenty of times during that Champions League campaign, and now we have to do it again. That's it, against a really strong team.
That Liverpool game is against Real Madrid on Saturday. We'll be building up throughout the week with more features and the rest throughout. So watch out for your New Day News 360 as well as new Midday Live. On to our final story. More big names have tumbled out of the World Cup after Argentina and Spain both named their squads for the tournament today. Argentina coach Jorge Sampaoli has dropped the Inter Milan striker Mauro Icardi, despite the striker finishing the season as the top scorer in the Italian Serie A with 29 goals in 34 games. Another Serie A player, the midfielder Raja Nainggolan, has been dropped by Belgium. Meanwhile, Spain coach Julian Lopetegui has dropped the Chelsea quartet of Cesc Fabregas, Pedro, Alvaro Morata and Marcos Alonso from the travelling party as La Roja seek a second world title. So no Morata, no Pedro, no Fabregas and no Ander Herrera as well. Juan Mata as well dropped from the side. Hector Bellerin, Marcos Alonso, Spain with a wealth of riches capable of doing all that. Another player missing, as I mentioned, Mauro Icardi, 29 goals for 34 games, not enough to take him. Raja Nainggolan, the AS Roma player. Just imagine if Ghana had all these players and was dropping them from a major tournament. Our final story then, Richard Ofori, current Ghana #1, could be named the top player, goalkeeper in South African football. He was shortlisted for top goalkeeper at the PSL Awards named today. The awards will be determined a bit later. We wish Ofori all the best in that endeavor. He's become key for the South African side. He's become key for the South African side this season with Maritzburg United. And a reminder of our top story before we go. Unai Emery, breaking news in the last few minutes. A lot of outlets reporting in England that he will be named the next Arsenal manager. Most reports had suggested it was going to be Mikel Arteta, but Emery arrived in London today to hold discussions with the Arsenal board. A lot of the major media houses say he's agreed a deal to become Arsenal manager and that a formal announcement will be made this week. Former Sevilla coach won 2 Europa League titles with them, won 3 titles with PSG, failed in the Champions League, but Arsenal feel he's the man to succeed Arsene Wenger. We'll see how it goes. In the meantime, News 360 will continue. We'll be back at 9 p.m. with Sports Station.
In international news tonight, Chief of Mission for the International Organization for Migration, Sylvia Lopez, says the number of Ghanaians returning from Libya still remain high. Speaking to my colleague Natalie Fort, she was worried the Western region had gradually become the second highest in terms of the number of returnees after the Ashanti region, noting this creates extra strain on the work of the IOM.
On May 15, 2018, IOM Ghana, in partnership with the government of Ghana, facilitated the arrival of 148 Ghanaians via charter from Libya. This is the 4th charter flight organized by IOM through the EU-IOM joint reintegration. The charter allows Ghanaians stranded in Libya to voluntarily return home. This brings the number of returnees to 706, out of which 661 are men, with 45 women. Chief of Mission of IOM Ghana, Sylvia Lopez Accra, was worried the number of Ghanaians returning from detention situations still remained high.
You say that the number of Ghanaians who are returning from detention situation in Libya is quite high and is increasing. What is accounting for this and what measures is the IOM putting in place to improve the situation?
We have quite a big number of migrants from the sub-region in Libya. They went there for work. Actually, now that Libya is in crisis, the majority of migrants there are trying to cross into Europe. We have quite a lot of Ghanaians there. According to our data, we have close to 60,000 Ghanaians in Libya. This is the 5th nationality in Libya.
She further noted the issue of migration must be seen as a threat to Ghana's development, considering the fact that Ghanaian youth are becoming more hungry to migrate to Europe in search of greener pastures.
Currently, we have various regions of return, which is going to pose a challenge for us in terms of being able to programmatically respond to the needs of those migrants. Now we are seeing the Western region becoming a very important area of return. It's accounting for 18% of our return so far, and this is something we need to understand what the dynamics are, but it's a very significant shift.
The Ashanti, Bono Ahafo and Greater Accra regions remain the highest ranked regions with the number of Libyan returnees.
You're watching News 360. We are live on channel 279 on DSTV. We'll return shortly.
Welcome back, and in entertainment news tonight, who takes over from DJ Swish as winner of the kids reality television show Talented Kids? The clock is ticking, and it's ticking fast. Ahead of the grand finale, pupil of Kids Paradise School and rapper Samuel Wusu is optimistic he will triumph come May 27, 2018.
From 28 contestants, it came down to 8. Finalists of TV3's Talented Kids Season 9 have given it their all.
This is history. History over jazz. Goodness me. You are the man. I can see an opportunity for a collaboration.
Inspired by acclaimed rapper Saga, Samuel Wusu is a proud finalist of Talented Kids Season 9. The rapper's colleagues at the Kids Paradise School at Shonman share in the versatile rapper's pride.
To be bold with what he's doing and do well to bring home the first prize to Kids Paradise School.
Someone should be the ultimate winner. I have trust in him. Kids Paradise, we have trust in Samuel. He's the best among all of them.
The whole school gives him all the support, and we hope that he goes there and comes back with the ultimate prize. This will make the school very proud.
The versatile rapper aka Young King Clef, together with 7 other groups, will be seeking to succeed DJ Switch as winner of award-winning reality show.
Cutting the number down to 8, I think it's not an easy task.
What are you promising audience come 27th?
I'm bringing something very enthusiastic, something massive. So all my fans should watch out. Wait for that day.
It remains the wish and prayer of Samuel Owusu's mate that he stands tall.
And the clock is ticking fast to the final showdown for TV3's Talented Kids season number 9. Who succeeds? DJ Switch, bassist Panel Duru, and the finalists are the people of St. Bernadette Subiro School. Well, sees no one but himself to win the ultimate. Let's see if he can.
It's been a hard-fought battle for the master bassist, Penel Dodu, gaining a spot among the top 8 finalists to battle it all out come Sunday. His exploits are keenly followed back at the St. Bernadette Subiro School in Dansana.
Our very own Penel Dodu has qualified to the finals.
It is the sole wish of Penel's colleagues that he emerges winner of this season's Talented Kids.
Kamas is always the best of all. God gives him all the grace that he will. He is a gem. He has to be, his potential has to be unleashed to the whole world. So they should support him so that we can unleash his potential.
Making it from an initial list of 27 contestants, Penel sees no one but himself to triumph.
What should we expect from you?
Just watch out. It's just a surprise. Just watch out.
If you don't win, out of the 8, who do you think will win again?
Myself.
All the best opinion, Dodu. Then let's do some more entertainment news where Ghanaian rapper Kofi Kinata has disclosed his intentions to tour Europe this year in the next few months. Kinata, who was adjudged the Artist of the Year at the Western Music Awards, indicated that his tour is in honor of his fans in Europe. In an interview with Connect FM in Accra, the rapper noted that his statement on being adjudged Artist of the Year at the Western Music Awards was to urge organizers of such awards ceremonies to recognize young and promising artists in the industry. Kinata was alleged to have said that, quote, he is too big for the Artist of the Year at the Western Music Awards. And that's it for News 360 tonight. My name is Solace Rose-Corte.
My name is Isa Moni. Thanks for watching and have a good evening.
Oh,